Wakey, wakey. Peekaboo.
How did you get down there?
Hi, Peter. It's nice to meet you.
When Timmy went missing, what do you remember?
He's close to Neverland, and he must act now to take the children with him.
It's time to collect.
Oi, freak! You gonna pay for that?
Hi, Peter. Do you know what I have?
Don't worry about Michael. I'm gonna take him to Neverland.
So if you need a hand...
Wow.
Who wants to come to Neverland with me? It's my duty to send the kids to Neverland and protect them from this world.
In a place where you can be a little boy for the rest of your existence.
Get back to me!
Marco?
Hello.
Marco? Hello.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, and happy Labor Day weekend to you. I am John Royce, one of your hosts, and thank you for joining me back with another episode of the Witching Hour podcast. Excuse me. So as we just watched the trailer for Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. There are so many childhood stories that are 100 years later, 50, 75, whatever. All these childhood storybooks are now being brought back to surface, being brought back to life, and they're all being given a horror twist, which I think is brilliant. So many people are totally opposed to this. I see their point. They don't want to tarnish their childhood memories. I can appreciate that. They also don't want to confuse their children who they are raising to know Peter Pan, Winnie the Pooh, Pinocchio with their childhood stories, and then getting them confused with seeing merchandise or commercials or so forth, whatever, with the new reinvented, not for children versions of those childhood stories. So I definitely do understand, and I do appreciate that as a parent, and might not notice it or look like it, but even as a grandparent. The film is due out for release in early 2025. It is completed. The film was directed by Scott Jeffrey, who also goes by Scott Chambers, whose name maybe now you remember if you were a fan or if you happen to have seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. He actually played Christopher Robin. Now, the story was also co-written, the screenplay, by Rice Frake-Waterfield, who was the director of said Winnie the Pooh 1 and 2. So the two of them are definitely keeping the stories alive, but I would definitely want to tell you that Scott Jeffrey is no newcomer. Now, here's just a couple titles for you: The Bad Nun, Clown Doll, Cupid, The Curse of Humpty Dumpty, which I have personally seen, Legends of Jack and Jill, Return of the Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny Massacre, just to name a few. Google this man look up the name of movies that he's been associated with. There's got to be over 50 films that he's done already, easily. And a huge majority of them are definitely headed and aimed towards childhood memories, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, and so forth and so on. And of course, there are still a ton of other films coming out. You've got Screamboat. You've got, what else was there? Of course, there's Pinocchio. There is Bambi, for crying out loud. So, but regardless, this is a Jagged Edge Productions film. Winnie the Pooh, I wanted to be its biggest fan. I really did. And maybe that's why I didn't care for it as much, is because I was too hyped up over it and I was let down. Ron Howard remade The Grinch, and it took me years before I'd watch it because I had special attachments to that film growing up as a child, and I wanted nothing to do with it. Nothing could ever compare to the childhood memories that 20-minute animated movie did for me. Okay, so maybe the same is holding true, that I had too big a high expectations for this film. I was not a huge fan of the first one. A lot of people didn't. It was kind of mixed reviews. A lot of people actually did like a lot of the kill scenes, but regardless, we are here to talk about Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. I like where this is going. I'm hoping that the production value is good enough to where it'll hold up to be a good, straight, solid film. The basis of the story is Wendy, the big sister, is here, and she is on a rampage to try and find her missing brother, Michael, who has been not taken away to Neverland, but abducted by. The character himself, almost at first glimpse, kind of reminds you of Nicolas Cage from Longlegs, facial structure and so forth, whatever. But I like where this one's going. I've seen the trailer, obviously. You've now seen the trailer. I think this one's going to hold water, and I really hope it is. I'm just hoping for one of these childhood turn nightmare horror movies to just be the next big thing. I really am. Am I going to put money on it? No. Do I think it's going to be entertaining? Sure. From what I've seen in that trailer, unless those are all the high points and everything else is just full of bad acting and tongue-in-cheek bullshit, we'll soon see in the next couple months. Again, no obvious or no set release date other than sometime early next year. So with all that said, we'll see how it goes. I am John with the Witching Hour podcast. This has been my first thoughts on the film. I am looking forward to this one. I really am. I hope you are too. If not, or regardless, yay or nay, let me know what you think. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about the whole childhood horror films being released now. And especially with Peter Pan's Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, excuse me. Let me know. Please hit the subscribe button down below. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys soon. I got a couple more actual movie reviews, full movie reviews coming up, and I got a lot of great interviews coming up your way also. So talk to you guys soon. Hope you guys have had a great Labor Day weekend. And that's it. I'm out. Keep it evil. Thanks, guys.